All right, we're live, brother. How you doing, man?
Hey, pretty good, man. It's probably gonna be a slow night tonight on this live, but me and Jim wanted to get on here and speak a little bit. Probably be somewhere probably between 30 and 45 minutes. Just pushed out quite a bit of content over the last week. I think we've done every position uh, on the
Minus
minus the quarterbacks
quarterbacks.
on the football team, and I can tell you that quarterbacks is probably going to come out tonight. We're going to come out tomorrow. We'll be pushing that content out, and I know everybody's been kind of waiting on the quarterback preview, so we figured we'd save that one for last. And then we actually have a guest that's going to be that we're going to be interviewing this next week sometime, probably around Tuesday or so. Really special guest from one of the sites that's going to come on and talk to me and Jeremy a little bit, and then we'll probably push that video out probably towards the end of the week, sometime next week. So definitely got some content coming out as well. Got some interviews coming out. Since we talked to you last, we've hired Chris Beard. Welcome back to the 40 Acres. Big hire, man. I tell you what, man, between, Steve Sarkisian and what he's done with that, really what that, Steve Sarkisian and what he's done with that staff. And then on top of what he's done with Chris Beard and who he looks like he's bringing in with him, man, it's along with the basketball coaches, the baseball coaches, and so on and so forth. CDC's definitely is making his money.
Yeah, definitely. Like you talked about, old gas, no breaks coming in, bringing the top of the line, recruiting guys with him, experience across the board. And then you got Chris Beard coming in, who has consistently beaten the University of Texas minus the Big 12, tournament with what I feel is lesser talent. So he's coming in, like you said, with the mantra of all gas, no breaks. CDC has definitely earned his stipend there with bringing in Steve Sarkisian, Chris Beard, and then softball, volleyball continues to grow. Hell of a baseball series this week. We swept Kansas. Midweek games, we showed that midweek games don't make any, dent in what we do, and then walked up to Lawrence and swept those guys. So, yeah, excited, very excited for what's to come across the landscape of Texas sports.
Yeah, and again, as far as content tonight, man, we really, to me, it's generated by the comments tonight. I really want to really get back to the questions and answers on Sundays. It feels like sometimes on Wednesdays we have a whole host of things to go through: press conferences, what's happening on the 40 Acres as far as summer camp, talk about position previews, and so on and so forth. So really want to get into the in the habit of really answering those questions on Sundays. Man, it's nice to have Johnny Munoz back, man. I know, I feel like I missed him for the last couple of lives for some reason. Maybe he's been on there silent, but hey, I can tell you TFT's lives aren't the same without Johnny Munoz, man, in the constant conversation he's having back and forth with everybody else on there. Definitely shout out to Steven Shell, man, $5. What they call them?
Super chat.
We don't get them.
Super chat.
Yeah, with super chat. We appreciate that, Steve, man. We don't get them a lot on here, man. And $5 is hard-earned money, like Jeremy always says, man. And $5 out of your pocket means a lot to us, man. And we really do appreciate that, Steven. If you got a question, shoot it, man. We'll answer that question, man. Yeah. As far as meet him at Whataburger, man, of all places. You know what I'm saying? To talk money, and I don't know, about a $35 million check over 7 years over a Whataburger biscuit sandwich is what it sounded like to me, dude. And a couple of coffees with a couple of sugars. And if you read, because they actually had the ticket out there for everybody to see what for what he ordered, man, which is pretty crazy to go in there and hire somebody and have a conversation over, some Whataburger, and then get him on a plane and get him to the 40 Acres, man, up in Austin the same day. Huge, man.
I think the business was done before they got to McDonald's and bought the coffee with 2 creams, 2 sugars. But yeah, getting a guy back who coached under Rick Barnes, like you said, he's kind of bringing the old. Rumor is he's trying to bring back Chris Ogden, Rodney, Terry is coming back on the staff from UTEP and UTS or UT Arlington. But Chris Beard is that kind of basketball coach that you want. He basically built a national finals contender, national championship game contender with a bunch of transfers. So what you've got to look at now is what kind of roster are we going to have in the 2021 season? And in my mind, he needs to recruit Matt Coleman. He needs to recruit Jace Febris. He needs to recruit all those guys, Greg Brown, into coming back to the 40 acres. The first guys he has to recruit, minus the transfer portal and minus guys coming in from the 2022 class, because it looks like two guys have asked out of their letter of intent, Tamar Bates, and I can't remember the other kid's name who asked out yesterday right off the cuff. But essentially, they're not going to have those guys. And then Ham has gone to UNLV. So basically what he needs to do is continue to recruit the current roster, continue to recruit transfers. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think it had to be done. I think we're getting a world-class coach who, like we said, is alumni of the University of Texas. Like I said, I think the contract was written before they got to McDonald's, but happy he's here.
Yeah, I said Whataburger. Yeah, McDonald's. It was at McDonald's, not Whataburger. Hell, it should have been a Whataburger. Obviously in Texas.
That's what Johnny said. Yeah,
that's where it should have been at. That signee that asked out of his letter of intent was David Joplin. He was one of the other ones that asked out of his letter of intent. But like you said, man, I think the biggest thing is to hit these guys before they go out there and get their agents, man, because once they get agents, man, they're kind of stuck on the decision they made. So like you said, to me, it's going out there and really recruiting those guys that are currently there, man. That, to me, that's the biggest thing before you go out and recruit the transfer portal. But I think that it feels like there's a lot of noise being made in that transfer portal when it comes to basketball. But I think you have to be really selective with the number with the people that you take on based on the number of obviously number of scholarships you have on a basketball team versus, obviously 85 scholarships on a football team. So I think you got to be really, really careful about the guys you select. And, but yeah, you go get a guy like, Chris Beard to come back to the University of Texas, where they thought that he was going to take a damn lifetime contract up there at Texas Tech, which is crazy to think of. And they were sour, dude, mad, dude. I don't think they're over being mad. The press conference that the AD had up there, he was angry, talking about we can't wait till he comes back to Texas Tech, man. We're going to fill that up and they're going to hear us, and then we're going to go down to Austin and let them have it in Austin as well. They're just angry, man. They were angry about us going in there and taking their coach. But hey, he said it's not about, it's not about the money. Obviously the money looks good. It's not about the money, but it's all about wins, man. And I can tell you what, if you didn't listen to that press conference, go back and look at that press conference. All gas, no brakes, man. That joker used the word twisted. Don't get it twisted in his press conference, man, which was like, who uses that term in a press conference? They don't get it twisted. This is what we've come to do, and this is what we're going to do, man. And I'm not scared. And I'm not worried about what people want me to do. This is what we are going to do, man. And it's nice to have two coaches on the 40 acres at your major programs, in your major, really, programs to solidify what's going on right now, man. Do you want to add something to
that? No, just like you said, I think that's the new coach talking to the new age players. Is we're coming in, we're going to be real, we're going to tell you how it is, and we're not going to coward anyone. You know what I mean? Like I was looking for a better opportunity, and that's basically what he told Texas Tech. Is I don't know that you can create a national championship contender at this university. So guess what? I'm going to pack my bags. I'm going to go a little bit south, southeast, and try to build a contender there. Like you said, money aside, he wants to win a championship and bring a championship to Texas. The same way Steve Sarkisian talked January 4th when he took the job, or on or around January 4th, because I think it's about 90 days into his tenure at the University of Texas. All gas, no brakes, unapologetic, trying to get the best athletes going across the country, trying to create that brand that's championship level, regardless of what people think. It's we want to win. Baseball's top 5, volleyball's top 5. Let's get these programs, these, like you said, the most notable programs at Texas, the football program, the basketball program at that level. Because softball's there, baseball's there, volleyball's there. We just won another national championship in swimming. So go ahead, Clint. I'm sorry.
It's just crazy, man. If you think about it, Mike White, coming from Oregon to be the coach, softball coach, man. he's going out there and he's getting these guys, man. And like you said, the volleyball team is the number 4 seed in the volleyball, the overall number 4 seed in the volleyball tournament. Texas baseball is sitting at number 5. To me, it's those big programs, but it's also those smaller ones, man. Now, obviously, you got to go replace, a swimming coach that's been around, that's won 15, 16 national championships at this particular point. But if anybody can do it, it's Chris Del Conte. The crazy thing about it, man, and what I wanted to say when I raised my hand was they were calling for Chris Del Conte's head, man, when you didn't get Urban Meyer. People were fired up for the fact that he didn't get Urban Meyer, and they were like, "Why?" Because again, I think it was really the way it happened. You know what I'm saying? Mid-season, all the drama, all the stuff that me and you went through, trying to follow all that stuff and do all these YouTube videos, and it was just, I think, the way it happened. But at the end of the day, he's doing what he needs to as a really an athletic director, and that is bring the best coaches in, man, for your programs and let them run the programs. So really, he's bringing high energy guys too, man. Really, really excited, high energy guys too. And I think you have to have that.
And I think he was given an open checkbook. I think the guys that pay for these contracts, whether it be, because like you say, Clinton, Jeremy don't write the checks to the University of Texas, but the guys that do said, hey man, you have the ability to bring these guys in. We're tired of mediocrity. We've been mediocre in football for 10 years, 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins. Haven't really been in a New Year's Bowl since the Georgia game at the Sugar Bowl. But before that, we weren't at that level. Basketball, same thing. We had gone 6 consecutive years without winning a tournament game. We need to be at that level, championship level. Yes, we won a Big 12 championship tournament. And I thought we had the makings of a Final Four run. Didn't happen, and change needed to be made. So, he sees it before it. I think at this point, we don't linger and settle for coaches that aren't going to be championship level for 1 or 2 years. Once we realize that they're not going to go, then we basically, they have to go find another place to coach, and we replace them with the guys that we feel can.
Just kind of going through these comments here. I'm gonna ask some questions, man, because I want to generate some buzz, man, in the comment section. So me and Jeremy worked on a quarterback, really a quarterback preview today. That'll either come out tonight, but probably first thing tomorrow, sometime probably around tomorrow, sometime probably between 12 and 3. We'll drop that. But I just got a question for y'all, man. I just want to give your ideas on who you think is going to start day 1, game 1. At that quarterback position. And the other thing I want to talk to you a little bit about, I know you had some notes. I think you want to talk a little bit about the offensive line and what you're hearing out of camp, and as far as offensive line and who's starting at what positions and so on and so forth. Because kind of surprised when we looked at the names of those guys that were starting currently with the ones. And again, there's probably a lot of rotations going on. So somebody, gets a snapshot of 5 guys that are currently working together. And then, 2 snaps later, they've rotated another guy to left tackle or right tackle. So I think it's going to really change really day by day, week by week. But I think you'll find out who your starters really are going into summer, man, at the end of spring camp, or who they think they are going to be. You want to talk a little bit about the offensive line and who they currently have started?
Yeah, just what we read on 247, you guys can see this too. Their current front 5 was Hook Van Angelau, Jake Majors, Denzel Okafor, and Christian Jones. But you understand that Okafor, Jones was that right side last year. Angelau has always been your left guard, and then of course Hookfin would be replacing Sam Cosme, and then Derek Kerstetter replaced by Jake Majors. So I'm pretty sure that Derek Kerstetter is still recovering from injury. Not sure about that. But where's Andre Carrick was what I thought, because I thought he really performed in the Kansas State game and in the Colorado game to lock down that left or right tackle position. But yeah, not really sure where those 2 guys are at this point. But again, we've talked about it. 5 deep is not where we want to be. We want to be 9, 10 deep across the offensive line. The same thing with the defensive line. You got to have 8 or 9 guys that you can rotate in and feel comfortable with by the time that September rolls around. But just their thoughts. Who are their front 5? who are their starter quarterback. Again, that overview preview will be out, like Clint said, either late tonight or early tomorrow. But just like to get your opinion on it.
Yeah. So who they have starting at left tackle? Who was it again?
Currently it's Isaiah Hookfin, which which I'm not really surprised because we saw preseason last year his performance and how he dominated in the interior. So I'm not really surprised by that.
But if you go back and look at it, right, and we talked about this a little bit in the offensive line preview, size matters.
Yep.
Size matters to Kyle Flood. I think size matters to Steve Sarkisian. So I'm just going to give you heights and weights for these starting five, okay? So starting at left tackle, you have Isaiah Hookfin, right? 6'5", 314 pounds. All right. Then you have Junior Angilau, who's probably put on some weight. The current 6'6", 294 pounds. It wouldn't surprise me if he didn't weigh over 300 pounds at this particular point. And at 6'6", he could put a lot more weight on.
Agreed.
And then center, obviously Jake Majors. Center doesn't have to be overly big. You don't have to have a big center. You got to have a center that's obviously smart and that can move well and call a good game plan in Jake Majors. And then at right guard, who's the right guard currently on your five?
Denzel Okafor.
Denzel Okafor. Yeah, and then Denzel Okafor sitting at 6'4", 317 pounds. And then right tackle is Christian Jones, 6'6", 310 pounds, man. So every one of these guys is probably sitting here somewhere between, and I wouldn't surprise me if Junior Aguilar's weight, if I went to TexasSports.com, that if his weight may have shifted to the right a little bit, he's weighing over 300 pounds, man. Because I think if you look at the lines that they had at Alabama, and they talk about bringing in big guys all the time, it wouldn't surprise me if they're not trying to put these big guys on that line and trying to make it work.
I remember when we did our offensive line preview, don't quote me on this, but I think we were around 6'4", 6'5", 330 pounds was about where Alabama was. And we were like around 314, 315 pounds. So, yeah, but he's going to get the guys where he wants them as far as height, weight, dimensions that he wants. And he's going to find a group of five that he feels comfortable is going to allow him to win football games. But at the same time, like I said, offensive line is not a position group where you have to feel comfortable with five guys. You have to have 8, 9, 10 guys that you feel are comfortable. And position flexibility will also allow you to have less. If you got 8 guys, but they have the position flexibility to slide inside and outside, then that creates a little bit of depth. But you want 10 guys across the front that you can trust to come into football games and perform in the fall. But hey, man, there's 17 or 54 folks in here, only 17 likes. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button before the show is over, we really, really appreciate it. Clint talks about how it helps us in the algorithm, moves us in front of other videos. And if you like our content, we really appreciate the likes.
Johnny Munoz said if they want any extra weight, just call him. He'll donate his weight since he has a lot of it. Still can't wait to meet the Johnny Munoz in person. Super excited about that. So lots of cases 24th. On here, man. What's that again, Jeremy?
April 24th.
April 24th, man. Johnny Munoz will be there. We'll be there, man. And we'll probably we'll put out what area we're in, man. So just so we can meet you guys, man, because it's crazy to sit here and think that we've been doing this for a while with the same people for so long, but
and never been really able to attend the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So definitely want to meet a lot of y'all if it's possible. So a lot of Casey's, man, just from that question, a lot of Casey's. Texas Platinum, he says Hudson Card. Go ahead and write that down now. I know Texas Platinum in some of their videos is also said Hudson Card. I can tell you that it's good to have a quarterback competition. It's good and really, really, really good to have a quarterback competition after really 4 years of the same quarterback. To me, it's compete. Really don't want to name a starter at this particular point. I just want to. My thoughts: if it happened today, and when you have to name a starter, and we're playing next week, Casey Thompson would be your guy. Absolutely, based on years in the program, and then obviously the play at Colorado and the Alamo Bowl, it'd be Casey Thompson moving forward. But we'd be crazy to think that we're going to know who the starter is, game one against University of Louisiana. What is it? September 4th.
6 months away.
Yeah, 152.
Right.
I think I was
away.
on a Texas sports page today. I think it's 152 days away. First game's 152 days away. So we can start the countdown for that. We'll be on 150 days on Wednesday. So, what else we got? Chris Roberts talking about Majors is going to be great.
And I like Karen Hickey. He gave me 8 guys, Carrick Jones, Oakford Johnson, Majors, Angelout, Kerstetter, and Hookfin. I like those 8. I'd like to get another, like Logan Parr step up, Jalen Garth step up. This coming year to get me to 9 or 10. Maybe Hayden Connor out of this class, steps up and makes 9 or 10 that we could trust. But yeah, I really appreciate your list there, Karen. Just looking to grow in each and every position, under.
So Sidhart, Chalheim, Angelau is listed at 316 pounds on Texas Sport. 316 pounds, man. 6'6", 316 pounds. They put weight on these guys, man, which again, it comes back to knowing with the strength and conditioning program, preparing your offensive line guys to be big and do what they need to, but also separating your skill guys, man, and understanding you need to make them faster. And I think they were all put in the same pool over the last couple of years, man, which really hurt our speed on offense at the skill positions, And again, we played with lighter guys on the offensive line under the last regime. And I just think this next one is looking for really, really big guys in the trenches, your guys like Sweat, Coburn, those really big guys, Christopher Ross, who we just, dropped a commitment corner on, what was yesterday, from North Shore, another big guy, dude, that's got length too, that you can put weight on. But I think, moving forward, these guys, man, are going to be trying to, put big guys in the trenches, both on the offense and defensive line.
And they're working the functional fitness aspect too. Like they're putting weight on them, but they're still, they're still Torrey Beckman's working the functional fitness, like the quick twitch muscles, to get these guys to fire off the line and just for that 2 or 3 seconds you have to hold a defensive tackle or rush in back. They had the ability to do that. So yeah, working the weight, but at the same time working that functional fitness aspect.
Yeah. Hey, I'd like to get your eyes on what shows you would like to see. I know somebody had asked us in the comment section because obviously the Big 12 and I think the Big 10 are going to come back to, contracts will, be open here in the next few years. So I think they wanted us to talk a little bit about that conference realignment. May do a show on that one. But what other, shows do you want to see as far as, off-season shows for me and Jeremy, man, just so we have an idea moving forward, until we get really, obviously through spring and then get into summer, man. And then once we get into summer, it's really full push to fall and then start doing probably an overview of all the games and do a preview of the games and where our wins and losses are. And, obviously start talking about the starting 11 on offense, the starting 11 on defense, and then what really good information that we're hearing. If you missed the beginning of the live, I can tell you that me and Jeremy will have a very special guest that's going to be joining us for an interview sometime this week. Probably won't be on a live, probably be recorded. He's really respected, really in recruiting. But we, at this particular point, set up, have a scheduled interview with him this coming week. And then hopefully by the end of next week, we'll actually be able to push that content out. So if you have any recruiting questions outside of who's going to commit next and any of those things, just really recruiting questions. How does it work? One would be, how do you select or decide when a crystal ball, when you do a crystal ball, to me, that's an important question. But if you have like recruiting, related questions, man, shoot those to us, man, so that we can probably, push those in the interview. So.
Yeah, it's not anybody from the 2022 class or 2023 class. It's a recruiting, like Clint said, recruiting insider. So yeah, maybe this gentleman, if you ask him specifics, it'd be cool to get him on the live. But yeah, like Clint said, probably going to do the tape show and just talk about recruiting landscape and how, like Clint said, how it works. when you're visiting with kids, and just what he knows about the industry. Folks always ask us how the 3-star, 4-star, 5-star things work. Probably ask them some stuff like that, but not a player, just somebody from the industry.
Kieran Hickey asked, what are we saying about Andre Coleman if we miss on Stewart, Thompson, Coleman, and Marshall? I know Marshall didn't have us in his top group of people, or group of schools. Obviously it's going to be a long process, man. Evan Stewart commit, then decommit. I don't think he's all the way out, at this particular point. I think he just wants to go see schools, man. I think that's what it's all about. Anybody that really committed before June 1st really needs to look at their commitment and say, hey, you know what? Obviously, we don't want people to decommit, but at the same time, and take an opportunity to go do some unofficial and official visits, man. It's good for us because you got to think about it. These guys that are close, maybe like Chris Marshall. Hell, you get them on a game day, at the University of Texas with 100,000 people in the stands, hopefully, in October. September, October game, it helps you. So, so a lot can change between now and signing day, early signing day in December, and then obviously late signing day. And then I think, as far as, Coleman, hell, he's not committing until, what is it? I'm not sure if it's Army All-American or the All-American game, or if it's the UA game he's committed to play in, but he's not decided until that day. So it's going to be a long drawn out process. Usually your skill guys take the longest to commit anyway. It's kind of surprising when Evan Stewart committed. So usually your big guys commit faster. Hopefully we get some of those guys pretty soon. So
you have Armani Winfield, who's still committed to the University of Texas, and continue to look at that June 15th through 18th date, I think, or that weekend that a lot of these guys are still coming to check us out. So like you said, the Brendan Thompsons, who is this question? Stewart, Thompson, Coleman, Marshall. Again, he has proven, similar to Stan Drayton, that he can bring receivers. They're looking to come to this university more for Steve Sarkisian and Andre Coleman. There's rationale why he left them on the staff.
Yeah, working, man. I agree with that, man. We got someone from North Shore. That says a lot. Yeah, to open that door back up to North Shore. Obviously, Bo Davis coached there for a while. That's big, man. Getting in there, get Christopher Ross, and then obviously the talent that comes out of North Shore. You're talking about damn near number one cornerback in the nation, plays there. Really looking at Texas, I think he's kind of narrowed it down as well to a few schools that he's looking at committing to, man, but in Harris, but yeah, to open up those doors back to North Shore is definitely huge. And getting a defensive line commit like Christopher Ross is definitely huge. I think he's going to shoot up the charts after this year of football. I think he'll shoot up the charts, man. He's a man among boys out there in North Shore.
Absolutely. And something that Kieran didn't talk about was CJ Williams and T-Mac too. The guys that are out there in California with Malik Murphy at this current state. So, again, I don't know if the previous coaching administration or recruiters would have had the opportunity to talk to the guys like Kevin Coleman, CJ Williams, T-Mac. But this group of coaches does. Again, we had a 17th ranked recruiting class last year. I think we're going to be in a much better spot when December rolls around, February rolls around next year. It's just keeping after them and the product on the field. We've done, the university sells itself. The coaching staff, I think, sells itself. It's production on the football field come September, October, and November that's going to solidify this class. Again, we got a ton of athletes coming in June for a summer visit, so we can show them the best things that Texas has to offer. But if we don't solidify it in September, October, November, December, then we're going to be in an arms race with the guys that like A&M, Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama, like we are every single year.
Ohio State.
For these top-notch athletes. Yeah.
It's going to be like that. And like you said, it's an arms race at this particular point because you're not – think about it. You used to be able to sell, really put a chain fence, a chain fence around Texas and saying, hey, you guys, you all come to University of Texas and then everybody else take the leftovers. And it's not like that anymore. It's – student athletes, kids are willing to leave out of the state of Texas. They're not opposed because of, distance, not to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's easier to fly back if you need to come home. And with social media these days and FaceTimes and, messengers and all these other things, it's easier to reach out to people and see them face to face versus just getting on a telephone. So it's just something you're going to deal with, man. But winning cures all. Winning cures all. Because I think with the way that these coaches can develop, they have to start putting guys in NFL. That's where we've lacked at, is really not to be able to provide these recruits and say, hey, you know what? Over the last 3 years, we put this guy in the first round of the draft. We put this guy in the first round of the draft. We put this guy in the first round of the draft. We don't have that. Like zero. We don't have any of that. And we're probably it's not going to happen in this draft. There's a couple of toss-ups with Cosme and Osai, but when that's what we have to do, man. We got to develop guys to go to the next level, and you've got to win football games you're supposed to win, and that is literally all gas, no brakes, put your foot on their throat. I don't give a damn. It's 31-0 after the half. We're trying to score another 30 points, in the second half. And I think that's the way it has to go to move forward, man. I'm just glad we're not getting more turtle ball, man. I'm really excited about that. We're trying to win. That's what he said. We're trying to score on every snap, Love to hear those videos come out, man. So
no, and we've been talking about it since June. Is you have folks ask us why you can't bring the top-notch talent, why you can't bring that top 5 recruiting class in 2020 and 2021. It's because you're not developing that talent. You're not, like you said, putting guys in the pros, and you're not winning championships. Folks want to put rings on their fingers. They want to compete for championships, and they want to get drafted. And the previous administration didn't allow that to happen. So going forward, that's exactly what it's going to be. Is like you said, all gas, no brakes. If you're not cutting it, it's going to be a meritocracy. You're going to find yourself on the bench, and the next best player is going to play. That's how it works at any successful program. I think he got that from Pete Carroll, and I think he got that from Steve Saban, and he brought those kind of winning mentality coaches into this program to do just that.
Hey, JBO7997, how concerned are you with Malik Murphy's lack of varsity experience? I look at it like this, man. He's not coming in starting day one, man. He's gonna sit. He's going to sit. And we in our quarterback preview, we talked about some of the guys that Steve Sarkisian had worked with. It is time at USC, and then at Washington, and then back at USC is the head coach, and then at his time as offense coordinator at Alabama, man. And if there's one thing that I feel really confident and comfortable with, that's that Steve Sarkisian is. When he knows who his guy is, he feels comfortable that he can mold him into being a Power 5 starting quarterback at a major program. So I'm really not concerned about that. You're talking about, being late, really off damn near a year from football. Yes, 7-on-7 playing those games helps with accuracy and fitting, obviously footballs into tight windows, but you also got to look at the team you're playing on as well. Does it have the skill players that you need? Does the offensive line block for you? Or are you running for your life the entire game? Those things you got to look at, man. So really my concern level with Murphy and him not, his varsity year and all that stuff is really probably zero at this particular point. I'm not concerned with it at all.
100%, Clint, 100%. And somebody said he's a project. I would wholeheartedly agree with what Scott Sheridan said. But when you tell me a project is kind of like Kai Jones for the basketball perspective in me. He has such a high ceiling. If you watch him throw the routes or throw the balls that he's able to throw, then you understand the arm talent is there. And if he just has a receiving core and the offensive line to protect them and the time to make those throws, that he has every throw the ability to make every throw in the route tree. Because I watched him in 7-on-7. I've watched him, hours and hours of his film at the JV level. And I know that he can make throws from the hash to the hash. But he just needs to, like Clint said, he needs the skill position guys around him in the offensive line to protect him, to be able to show that skill set. Yeah.
I want to thank S Pal up here, man, for a $5 super chat. We appreciate it, man. Hook 'em, man. We definitely appreciate it, man. We like when you got questions with those too, man. So, because they shoot to the top, we notice them really fast. So, got a question, put it in a super chat, man, and we'll answer it. But we appreciate it, man. Kieran Hickey said Lincoln Riley smoked the driest brisket he has ever seen. Man, we need to beat him in October for disrespecting Texas that much, man. That sounds terrible. Was it on his, like, I don't know how you know, man, because if I cooked a dry brisket, I definitely wouldn't take a picture of it and put it anywhere. So I'd like to know how he's seen that. It may be on social media. I'm not sure. Kieran Hickey Murphy has a cannon, but he doesn't have the team to or coaching to do anything special.
Watch all of his games this year.
Yeah,
it's exactly right. You're exactly right. He's got to have time. He's got to have the skill position players to show off his talent. I'm going to tell a funny story. So my neighbor we went out and bought a mower today. But as we were leaving, my neighbor was smoking a brisket or smoking something. And right now our current podcast is up on my screen, but if you look just to the right, you guys can't see it. I have a tab open to Lowe's to get myself a brand new smoker, as soon as this podcast is complete. Because we recently moved. You guys know that from Killeen to Copper's Cove, and have a nice grill and an outdoor kitchen set up. But I need to add a smoker to that because my neighbor's killing it across the way, cooking some kind of meat tonight. But definitely got to add that to our list of things that we have in the Lockby household out back.
I'm looking for this picture of this on Twitter. I gotta see how bad this thing is, and why in the hell would you why because
they don't
send that to somebody and say, is this a
they don't know any better, like who?
Oh man, that's like beef jerky. It's like beef jerky. Like seriously, like everybody go to Lincoln Riley's Twitter and comment on his dry brisket. Like it's sad. Somebody wrote, "Does that look super dry, or is it just me?" It's bad. All right.
You have to send that kind of stuff out for critique before you send it out on social media. Like legitimately, when we were during Thanksgiving, I shot Clint a picture of my deep fried turkey before I posted it. I was like, I think this is a good looking turkey, but I want you to say it looks good before I put it on social media, because I think somebody that same day had posted a ham or a turkey and they just got completely roasted in their inability to cook.
He said drier than a Popeye's biscuit.
Those can get
you need a little extra honey for those, man. Get that honey, that Popeye's honey, man. Put it on there, drown it in the honey. Man.
As soon as I leave here, I'm gonna grill some salmon. We did buy salmon. I was like, I need to cook some meat outdoors today to let my neighbor know that I could compete. But
let's see what Johnny Munoz said, man, about Riley's thing, man. Riley not letting that smoke transfer good enough into the brisket, like he doesn't let quarterbacks transfer out quickly. I like that, Johnny. Good one, man. Good. Like I said, go over there to Lincoln Riley's Twitter page, man, and comment on his beautiful brisket he has there. All right.
Yeah, his first, we'll see. First year with the non-transfer quarterback is I can remember. I'm thinking was last year.
Yeah.
And Rattler did his thing, and we're gonna have a date with him in October.
And then Williams, if there's not a transfer that comes in between Rattler and Williams, he'll have 2 back-to-back ones, man.
That's it. Because we were talking mad stuff last year. About can't win without a transfer quarterback.
Kieran Hickey says we got to throw a Texas football talk tailgate when the season starts.
Happening. Definitely happening.
I like it. Game 1, man.
Definitely happening. It's got to find a spot. I think we'll be. By then, I think we're trying to do a collaborative tailgate. We'll see. We're going to throw some ideas out there. It would be nice to have an hour or two with the guys from FP or the guys from Homer, Nino, Platinum to be there together and grab a couple of mics and in an area along San Jacinto Street or wherever and get after it, talking ball for a couple hours before the game starts. But I'm a guy who likes to be in my seat an hour before kickoff too. Soaking in the atmosphere and have my drinks and nachos and be ready to go for the game. Read the program a little bit, see what's going on an hour before the game. But definitely we're going to be there a lot this year because that really got taken from us last year. So we're not going to let that happen again.
It's a simple say, you're making me hungry. It's like one of those shows, man. You're sitting in bed at like 9, 10 o'clock on on a Sunday night watching, what is it? Like, what's that called? Uh, Diners, Drives, and Dives. And you're sitting there watching, and it's like, damn, your mouth start watering. And then all of a sudden you're jumping out of bed and going to the pantry to get something to eat. Yeah, we'll stop talking about food on here, man. Everybody's kind of running to the refrigerator at this particular point. Don't
I
want to
haven't
run
eaten
you off.
either. Like I said, I haven't eaten either. So the salmon's already.
Don't want to run you off the show.
Now.
Jeremy hasn't eaten yet either. I think he's going to go cook some fish in a minute. Travis actually said, live tailgate chat, please. Absolutely, man. So
the logistics of that it may have to, like, I don't know how we're going to pull it off. If we're going to have our laptops there, how we're going to pull it off, or so to have the chat and then run them back to the car or whatever we're going to do. But we're going to try anything and everything we can to make that happen, even if it's on our phones. You know, hey, we're here, about to get after it. So we'll see.
Travis said, I got Chinese food in the microwave. Heat it up. Minute, 15 seconds, man. Be good to go. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Johnny Munoz, man. Got to take that. He said, talking about taking that baby aspirin. You know, the Tom Herman coach, and I was always take my baby aspirin before the game because I knew they were going to be close every time, man. Every time. It was crazy to me. Crazy.
Get on them early and beat them down. Like I said, this should be you hope with all gas, no brakes, that 20-point leads in the second half, we're not going to sit on and belly play, 50-50 ball, and then punt the ball, to the opponent. Let's get after it. Let's get, like you said, put a foot on their throat and continue to take a lead and grow a lead and get those guys that are second and third teamer guys out there, getting them some productive quality, playing time when it matters. That Kyle Flood could coach them up, that Bo Davis could coach them up, that Jeff Choate could coach them up, off football games and not off practice. So that would be ideal for sure.
Exciting, man. Exciting Easter night.
I'm
Sunday
excited.
Night question and answers, man. Again, we put out trying to went over the content we just recently put out. So we just put out every position other than quarterback. We've done a preview on that. So if you haven't caught that on our YouTube, go check those out. And then we finished quarterbacks this morning. That will be out tomorrow. We're thinking tomorrow. Me and Jeremy, it may be done. So Jeremy may say, hey, you know what? Let's push that out tonight. May go out tonight. So be watching that. Ring the bell. Hit that subscribe button so you know when it does come out. However you want to do it. But obviously we'll push that to our Twitter accounts and our Facebook accounts when it does go out as well. And then again, we'll be with doing an interview this week with the recruiting insider sometime this week, and then we'll probably push that content out at the end of this next week. So and then hopefully we'll be back. I know Jeremy's got some military obligation stuff going on right now, so it may be a tough week for us this week as far as getting back to a live on a Wednesday, but we'll definitely try that. That's why we wanted to get on here tonight. It's like one day that Jeremy has off. That he's available.
So the 14th
before like 8:00 at night. So
right.
Definitely wanted to get on here tonight and talk a little bit and kind of go through what's happening as far as Chris Beard and really what's going on in spring camp right now. So Working Man's Louisiana, it's not going to be a pushover. I don't think so either, man. They're a hell of a team.
I agree.
I think they went undefeated, lost one game last year, which is good. I think it's a good test, man, I think it's a good test for Texas, man, going into next year. Hey, let's play a tough out of conference, a couple out of conference games, man. I think it's important. And obviously, we're going to Arkansas, right? Going to Arkansas.
Yep.
Yeah, going to Arkansas. Another big time game, man. That's Razorbacks can be tough, man. Good SEC team, man, and that coach has got them playing really, really well too. So,
and we always schedule tough. We always schedule tough non-conference. Like LSU, we missed LSU going to Baton Rouge this past year, but after this, it's Alabama, Georgia. I think Notre Dame's back on the schedule. Ohio State's back on the schedule. Like, we're always going to have juggernauts in preseason that we're going to have to contend with, and that's being Texas. That's what you want to do. Texas baseball lost their first 3 games playing Arkansas, Mississippi, and Mississippi State, and they've lost 2 cents. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of, because it prepared them going forward for the Big 12 season, and now they're number 5 team in the country. You've only lost 2 games since, and heading in the direction where they're supposed to be. Man, it's a good super chat night.
Hey, I appreciate that, Vincent, man. Yeah. Vincent Simple, man. Appreciate your $9.99, dude. Really, 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 really do. Hook 'em, man. That means a lot. I'm over here hitting the hook 'em to the other computer over here that I'm actually reading the comments on, man. But that means a lot, man. We really, really do appreciate it.
We do.
It means a lot to us. It really does. It does. It's almost speechless, man, that somebody would, say, hey, here's $99 towards our channel. I can tell you that David Williams did say, he was talking about, I've seen the defensive back assessment. I'm looking forward to seeing the linebacker and tight end assessments. Those are out there. David, definitely read all your comments on the defensive backs, man, and you give some really, really good insight. So, and that's really like those comments, man. When people get on the videos and they give us their insight, their comments, and what they think it's going to look like and who should start where. I tell you, me and Jeremy do our best to read every one of those comments. Obviously there's trolls out there that all they want to do is get on there and just really
beat us up or
beat us up or whatever the case may be, But we really do get on there and we try to read every one of those comments that y'all put out. And I appreciate that, David, so much, man, that you could put that much time and effort and thought into the video we did put out. It means a lot. It really means a lot.
Because David's thoughts on the defensive backs, because of course we read it. And we read every comment that he sends us, because it's thoughtful and it's all about his perspective on the Texas football team. So positionless defensive backs was what he was talking about, whereas he feels that the most potent position in the defensive backfield is that guy who plays slot corner, but can also has that developmental skill to be able to cover at the safety position, if I'm not mistaken. But definitely thoughtful comment. Go to our defensive backs, or I don't know if it was in safeties or if it was in corners, but yeah, take a look at what David had to say, because it's very thoughtful and insightful, and I totally agree. You don't want to call guys positionless, but you do want to, at the same time, respect the fact that you can put them in multiple spots and they can compete and play well. If you had to move them from slot corner to free safety, or if they have the ability to move them to the boundary corner. But yeah, definitely, you don't want to call them positionless, but know that they have the ability to play across the field and be a benefit to your football team when you don't have depth.
Jack of all trades, man. That's what it comes out to me, man. It's not positionless, but being able to play multiple positions, man, and be able to rotate guys out. Obviously it helps when, like said, injuries or whatever the case may be, or just depth issues. I think it's important, man, to watch those guys get on video, man. In iron sharpens iron type of deal yesterday. If y'all haven't seen that video they put out with the defensive backs, man, sitting there, and I don't know who 31 is. I think he's a freshman. Said, "Who do you want?" And I think he went after Josh Thompson and said, "Come on." And he said, "Go ahead, freshman, do what you got to do, man. Get better." And I think that's how you get better. Yeah, that's how you get better, man. Yeah. He's big dude. 31's big dude, man. Long, but yeah, really, really, really excited, man. So.
Hey, that David, that'll happen. You just let us, if you're ever in Austin during the football game, let us know, man. Yeah. We know that. We know that, brother. We know that it's never negative, that it's just a different point of view, and it helps us get better. Like, we know that our thoughts and our opinions aren't always the right answer, but it's what we think, and we definitely respect other people's opinions. And like I said, it makes us better. It makes us go back and look to see if we missed something, or if somebody can articulate something a little bit better than we can. Because yeah, definitely, I like Big Reds. I don't drink very many carbonated drinks, but I would definitely love to share a Big Red and talk Texas football.
I'd have a Big Red too, man. Don't drink it very much. I don't know when the last time I had a Big Red is, but Big Reds and tacos go well, right? I think if you live in El Paso, I think it's Big Reds and Chico's Tacos, I think is the thing if you're ever in El Paso, and somebody can tell me if I'm wrong on here, but I think it's Chico's Tacos and Big Reds. Go.
I've always seen Big Reds and vanilla ice cream, like a kind of like a malt, or not a malt, but like a shake, or a sundae, or not Sunday, a float. Shit, a float. You know, Big Reds and vanilla ice cream.
Really?
Make a good float. Yeah.
I would think like a Fanta and like a vanilla ice cream would be like one of those sickles, you know, like the orange sickles.
Yeah.
Wow. We've talked about Lincoln Riley's
barbecue,
you know, Big Red floats. Like it, man. Wes Bearden said, I'm living in Alabama, so unless I'm at a game, I probably won't meet you guys in person. I miss Texas, though, for sure. My first home and home in the heart. And I think he was talking about having to write a resume after doing the same job for 8 years. I had that issue, too. I can tell you, Wes, when I retired from the Army, trying to, put 20 years into a resume after I'd done one job for so long was definitely difficult. So I definitely understand your pain. There's a lot of resources out there, though, that help you out, man. Hopefully you can find a job back in Texas, man. We can meet you.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Johnny Munoz sounds like a lot of trips to the Red River. I'm thinking RR. Gotta help me out there, Johnny.
Yeah.
He said, I'm back. I had to tell Lincoln he cooked up brisket more than Justin Jefferson did his secondary.
Ooh, he did cook his secondary a lot. That's really good. That's really good. Holy crap.
Well, hey, I think I'm going to let Jeremy go. He's probably starving over there. I know he's got to cook. Don't want him to be cooking all the way until 8:00 tonight. But hey, appreciate y'all getting on here. Happy Easter to y'all. Happy Easter Sunday. Hopefully y'all enjoy the rest of your week. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. If you haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button. Or if you're on here and you're a new subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. We'd appreciate it. Thank you for everyone that gave us a super chat tonight. Means a whole lot to me and Jeremy. A whole lot to me and Jeremy. We just get up here and we'd like to talk ball with y'all. Outside of that, we're not there. It's very simple. We're up here talking ball. And I'll kind of leave it at that, man. But we really, really, really do appreciate each and every one of you and your insight and your comments. It's nice when we get the chats going, so we can sit here and go back and forth. But any final thoughts before we get off here, Jeremy?
No, Dirk Buchanan said in the midst of, and it's not that I have to cook or get off here tonight. It's more about the 5 o'clock alarm clock that's going to hit me. So I got to feed my family and get to bed at a decent hour in order to get up at 5. But Dirk says in the midst of quarterback battle, I want to see depth shows at the receiver position, wide receiver and tight end groups. If he's asking about our previews or overviews, or if he's asking if we have those shows out there, they're definitely out there for you. Please go check them out. If not, then please hit us up, Dirk, and let us know more specific what you're asking. But I feel like you're asking about what do we have at receiver, what do we have at tight end, and those shows are out there if that's what you're asking us. But no, man, I'm fired up for the rest of spring ball to get us to April 24th. Like you said, we'll be down there in 20 days to enjoy the festivities. If you guys are down there, please look us up. Like Clint said, we'll shoot a picture of the section or shoot a tweet out where we're at. Please come and visit with us. Just fired up and ready to go, man.
Yeah. David Williams, real quick, 2022 recruiting class might include Denver Harris, Terrence Brooks, fantastic cornerbacks, man. Top cornerbacks in the nation. And the corners in the 2021 recruiting class, very good. Ibrahim and Jameer Johnson. Those guys are long, lengthy quarterbacks, man. Cornerbacks. And that's what you need, man. You need those lengthy, 6 foot, 6'1", 6'1" cornerbacks, and that's what you got. And then Parker Duncan here. I love Longhorns. Couldn't live without Clint Jeremy. We appreciate that, man, a lot. I really do appreciate that, man. Hook 'em, Parker. But yeah, hey, announce your cooking presence to your neighbor with the authority, Jeremy. That's what Johnny said. And we'll leave it at that, man. Y'all have a good night. You can find us on Twitter at TX Football Talk, on Instagram at Tex Football Talk, and on Facebook at Tex Football Talk. We appreciate you listening as always, and hook 'em.
Hook 'em.